Hey everyone, welcome back to Harry's Book Cafe. Today we are diving into a psychological thriller by the absolute staple of the genre, Freida McFadden. But before we get into the meat of the review, I want to give a massive shout out to one of our wonderful viewers who recommended this one in the comment section. Thank you so much, Keith, for the recommendation. I absolutely love it when you guys drop book recommendations. It pushes me out of my usual reading lane. It expands my TBR and lets us explore stories together as a community. Today's discussion is Do Not Disturb. I'm a huge McFadden fan. I have read her Never Lies and The Maiden. They are absolutely phenomenal. She is usually the queen of fast-paced, jaw-dropping twist that keeps you up until 2 o'clock in the morning. But today we need to have a real nuanced chat about this one. Because while it has some incredibly cool cinematic roots and a few standout elements, it hits a little differently for me compared to her usual exceptionally high standards. Let me break down the good, the bad, and the unexpected. Let's start with what completely hooked me right from the premise, and that is the atmosphere and the inspiration. If you are a fan of classic cinema, you are going to catch the vibes immediately. This book is a massive loving nod to Hitchcock's cycle. We have a remote, eerie motel, the Baxter Motel. Isolated in a raging blizzard, we have a protagonist, Quinn, who is desperately on the run after something terrible has happened. She seeks shelter in the absolute worst place possible. The setting itself feels like a character. McFadden does a great job of making you feel the claustrophobic of being trapped by winter weather in a place that just feel off. As a film fan, reading how McFadden adapts these classic tropes into a modern psychological thriller was easily my favorite part of the reading experience. The nod to the genre's roots is clever, and it sets up the initial tension that makes the first few chapters flying by. If you love the trap in the storm dynamic, the setup here at the Baxter Motel is solid. But as we get deeper into the story, that's when the narrative began to hit some major speed bumps for me in terms of character realism. And it's not that I didn't care about the characters just because they were flawed, it was more because of their reactions felt disconnected from reality. Let's look at our protagonist, Quinn. Her motivation for being on the run is sound and make perfect sense for moving the plot. The issue isn't why she's running, it's how she behaves after doing something as monumental as killing her husband. And by the way, this is not a plot spoiler. You will realize the murder after a couple chapters. So anyway, she runs away after killing her husband. You would at this point expect someone in that situation to be completely unraveled, paranoid, or dealing with massive psychological shock and adrenaline. Instead, Quinn almost treats it like an everyday occurrence. She is still able to have a perfectly casual, normal conversation with the old lady next door in the hotel. And she stays in this creepy motel and finding herself thinking about wanting to kiss the hotel owner. It feels like an emotional disconnect, and it really pulled me out of the story. And then we have her elder sister, Claudia. Without giving away major spoilers, Claudia's action and decision throughout the book felt a little bit unrealistic, at least to me. Her behavior pushes past the usual boundary of thriller logic into actions that just didn't align with how I and perhaps many other people would function in the circumstances described in the novel. Because both of these characters' reactions felt more dictated by what the plot needed them to do, rather than how people would actually react. It repeatedly breaks the immersion. However, I want to give credit where credit is due, because there is one aspect of the character writing that I thought was absolutely fantastic. And that is easily the strongest part of the entire book. That is the relationship between the motel owner and his wife. Now, I'll be completely honest, their dynamic can be a little bit difficult reading at times. It handles some heavy, complex themes that aren't easy to digest. But unlike the main plotline, the bond between the two of them felt incredibly realistic, deeply layered, and at times surprisingly heartwarming. McFadden really captures the nuance of a complicated, protective relationship under strange, high-stake circumstances. Watching them navigate their reality was gripping. It provides the emotional anchor that I felt the rest of the book was missing. If the rest of the novel had matched the emotional depth and realism of The Hotel Owners, this would have been an absolute top thriller for me. Now let's talk about the elements McFadden is famous for. The twists. When you pick up her hit books, you are usually experiencing a roller coaster where the tracks completely change direction, leaving you breathless. In Do Not Disturb, the pacing feels a bit different. The narrative moves forward, but it lacks the dense layering of mini twists and subtle red herrings that usually keep us guessing. This one feels much more linear. And then there is the final reveal, the final twist. In a great psychological thriller, a twist feels like puzzle pieces you didn't see coming. But the moment it snaps into place, you look back at the whole book and realize the clues were hidden in plain sight the entire time. With this ending, it feels less like a carefully constructed twist and more like a total narrative flip. It's a sudden pivot that feels a bit disconnected from the groundwork laid on the previous 200 pages. While it is certainly unexpected, it didn't quite give me that satisfying aha moment that I have come to love from her other books. It felt like a sharp left turn just for the sake of turning. So where does that leave us? Overall, I'd say Do Not Disturb is still a very solid read, a middle-of-the-road read. However, it's below the usual McFadden high standard. For a reader who comes to Freida McFadden the first time, this perhaps isn't the book that you should pick up. I would definitely recommend The Maiden or Never Lies. However, if you are a McFadden completist, then this is definitely a book that you should give it a try. Looking at review online on places like Goodreads, I'm definitely not alone in feeling this way. A lot of readers felt that the same disconnect with Quinn's reaction, and equally, a lot of people loved the psycho atmosphere just as much as I did. And that is the beauty of reading. It is entirely subjective. What didn't click for me might be exactly what someone else loves, especially if you're looking for a quick, atmospheric, snowy winter read to breeze through a boring afternoon. Again, a massive shout out, a massive thank you for Keith, who recommended this book. Even when the book isn't my absolute favorite, I cherish the fact that we are having this analytical discussion together. It is what makes me appreciate the genre even more. When we look at how different stories are built, the building blocks, the thought process behind each paragraph, each chapter. And that is precisely why I love so much of running this cafe. Now, over to you guys. Have you read Do Not Disturb, and what are your thoughts on this particular book? Did you like it? Did you feel a little bit of indifferent? Did you dislike it? Please let me know in the comment section down below. And please keep those recommendations coming. I love to receive those recommendations. I'm already looking forward to my next read. If you like this video, if you find it helpful, please give it a thumb up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel. And next week, I'll bring something a little bit different. Cheerio guys, until next time.